Just as every meal has its own specific recipe, so is our financial plan. For you to have a good financial plan, there are certain things that must feature in your financial plan. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 key components of every good financial plan. If you're ready, let's get started. So before we get started, you need to understand that you can't make a plan if you have no idea of what you want to achieve with your money. In this case, the first thing you need to do, not even talking about the component, was to assess yourself and then establish your net worth. And that, if you haven't watched my video on the first things first in the episode 1, I'll leave the link in the description below so you can watch it after this one. So once you're able to establish your net worth, which is basically about your assets and liabilities, and the difference, if it's positive, you know that okay, you have more money to pay off your debt. If it's negative, you know that you have less money to pay off your debt. That will tell you your current financial status. And by knowing your current financial status, the next thing you need to do is to go on to have or outline your financial goals. In this case, you can categorize them into the short term, medium term, and long term financial goals. So by short term goals, you can have a plan to say maybe in the next year or 2 you want to buy a car. And talking about the medium term, you can decide that okay, you want to save enough so you can start a business or even make a deposit for some sort of mortgage facility. And with the long term goals, you can look at maybe 30 years, 60 years from now, where you feature in your retirement plan as well. So if you have a plan basically that spans across these 3 things or these 3 terms that I've talked about, that will give you an idea of what exactly you want to use your money for. And that brings us to the 5 key components I'm going to talk about. So at this point, if you are enjoying the video or getting some value, please hit on the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, because it helps or it encourages us to do more content for you. And don't forget to also turn on the post notifications so that you don't miss any of the videos we posted. Most importantly, share to all your contact lists. So not to talk about them in any particular order, the first thing you need to have is a debt management plan. Debt is something that actually takes away a lot of money from us, and so if you are fortunate not to have any debt, then kudos to you. Yes, but if you have debt, then you need to have a plan to service the debt, because the earlier you pay your debt, the less amount of money you pay and the more money you get to be able to save. So in this case, you want to just rank your debts according to the interest rate you are paying on them. So if you have a debt, say let's say with 10% interest rate and then 15% interest rate, you know that definitely you have to find ways and means of paying off the debt with a high interest, because trust me, the longer it takes for you to pay your debt, the more money you pay or the more interest you pay. And so if you are able to, let's say, even source for funds with a lower interest rate to offset your higher interest rate debt, it will really be of immense help to you. And then when it comes to the low interest rate debt, you also have to re-strategize so that you can pay it off as soon as you can, because the earlier you pay, like I said, the more money you're able to save. So in this case, assuming you are an employee and then there's an increment in your salary, don't adjust your life to suit the amount of increment that has come. It's always better that if you have debt, you have to even reschedule, or more or less like go to your bankers or whoever your lenders are and then restructure your payment plan. So if it's possible for you to even increase the repayment amount, the better, so that you're able to pay it off as soon as possible. So the next most important thing that needs to feature on your financial plan is a budget or cash flow planning. And as you may be aware, a budget will look at your income versus your expenses, and that gives you an idea of how much you are really spending on a particular item, and also tells you or gives you an indication of the kind of items that are actually eating up your money. So in that case, you are able to re-strategize to cut down certain expenses to be able to get more money so that you can save. So it's very important that you have a cash flow plan, and that will also give you an indication whether you need to do something extra to get more money. If indeed your expenses are justified, then you may have to look at other sources of income. So basically, with the cash flow or budget planning, you are able to see all your sources of income against all your expenditure, and that is very, very important if you are doing a financial plan. So now the next thing that has to also feature on your financial plan is that of your emergency plan. Look, you can do all you can, but trust me, emergencies will never notify you when they are coming, or even send you an alert that they will be coming on Tuesday, blah blah blah, dates this. No, emergencies do not announce their coming, and that is why it's very important that you need to have a special plan for emergencies. And in this case, some experts recommend that you have about 6 months worth of your salary or 3 months worth of your salary, and that is entirely up to you. But the bottom line is that you need to get a financial plan, or you need to get some specified amount of money that will be able to take you through in terms of crisis. So let's say a job loss or a business shutdown or some sort of economic turn down or downtimes can affect you, and that is the more reason why you need to have that plan. So if you haven't started yet, now is the time to start, because your emergency might even be now as we speak. And if you haven't yet watched my video on the 4 types of accounts every individual must have to be financially sound, I'll leave the link in the description below so you can go check it out right after watching this video. Now the next big thing that you need to have on your financial plan is your retirement plan. This is very, very critical, because a lot of people end up dying before their time. People struggle through retirement, and you don't want to be a part of those people. So it's very important that you plan for your retirement, because trust me, at the end of the day, if you retire, the benefits you are enjoying from a company, a lot of them will be cut off, and your expenses, your medical bills will also go up, which require more money to be able to keep yourself together, and that is kind of stressful. And for those of you who think that maybe you have some sort of expertise, so you may want to go into consultancy, it's a good idea, brilliant idea. But what if there are no clients or there are no jobs? I mean, anything can happen. We're there and the pandemic hit, and a lot of people lost their jobs. People who thought that okay, they were secured in their jobs, lost their jobs, and so you can't tell what will happen. The earlier you plan for your retirement, the better. So I've done a whole video on the 5 mistakes that could ruin your retirement. I'll leave that link in the description below so you can check that one out. It's very, very key that you have a retirement plan, and that will also be on the basis that you want to live a certain kind of life when you retire. So you can see some experts, some investment companies around, and they will be very glad to assist you come up with a figure, more like a target, that will help you during your retirement. Now the final thing I want to talk about is insurance plan or insurance coverage. And for most of you, if you have cars, you know that in almost all the countries across the world, you need insurance before you can drive your car. So that one, you're already on the plan. Without it, you cannot be able to move your car. So apart from having a car or auto insurance, you may also want to have a life insurance. You may want to have a health insurance, or sometimes you have to also get a home insurance if you have a house. And the key thing is that make sure you don't overpay for your coverage. I mean, don't subscribe to insurance that you don't need. Just assess yourself and see the essence. If truly you need it, then you go for it, because it can be a very, very, very good help to you in times of need. And though not exhaustive, I believe these are the things that if you are able to put yourself together to get them, they will really go a long way to help you. I believe and hope that you find this video useful. If you do, please join the family. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button and turn on the post notification so that anytime I post the video, you'll be the first to watch. And make sure you share this video to everyone, to all your friends and contact list. And thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.